Just got a notice that I got a package delivered. Ooh, I think this is the throwing axe. Let's see what we got. Haha. I don't know which way this thing wants to slide out or open. Ah, I see. Sweet. GoPro, stop recording. So what the hell was that, you might ask? That is a throwing axe from Calculated Survival. It runs about 110 bucks plus shipping and handling, another 10 bucks. Comes with this Kydex sheath, quick draw, I guess. And this thing is designed to be thrown and stick in any orientation into its target. Even if you were to throw it this way, basically it's patented and designed to give you a high probability of stick. As long as you don't hit handle first, typically anything that would be able to be penetrated with this, it will. And wood is typically the axe's prey. But when it comes to fighting axes and edged weapons, you go with things that usually have a heartbeat. So, while I am not an edged weapons specialist, and this is pretty much an improvised video, I can tell you that I've been preparing for a good majority of my life to be able to defend myself. And part of that I learned is to have an edged weapon. Edged weapons, when well maintained and practiced with, can be very useful, especially in close quarters. They don't run out of bullets, and they usually have a whole host of uses and practicalities that go beyond simply just chopping and stabbing and throwing. For instance, you can use it for prying. I see this having utility, maybe not necessarily for wood processing, but if you had to chop game that you've taken in the woods, you know, to process the meat or to process the hide and bone. While it is not necessarily sharp enough to skin, you could open up some hide with it, dragging it along. This could probably stand a little bit more of an edge, but when you talk about a spike, that's exactly what it is more of a spike. So it's not necessarily designed for cutting. Why did I buy this? Because I fucking could. Do I have to have it? No, not necessarily, but I wanted to again. So the one drawback to this that a lot of people note is that it doesn't come with a sheath for carrying. It comes with a sheath for edge protection. And I tell you what, I like it. I really do. Because if you can't figure out how to carry something like this, chances are that products like these aren't for you anyways. Because all it would simply take is a loop. And if you can't fabricate that with nylon or leather or any kind of fabric material, then you know you need to figure out a lot of other things. But I like this right out of the box. It's got like an intuitive design and feel to it. It's well balanced. To show you some other axes that I have that would be considered combat capable, my buddy Nick got me this one. Now, if you're wearing this on your belt, right, the idea is that you would lift, push it up. It's not broken in or anything, but you can see that it's already got a little bit of hang up to it, so it's not exactly something you're going to be quick drawing. If I was to put this on my belt line, because of this Kydex sheathing, and to be able to snap that right off and go into action with it, what I would do is I would probably have something banded on it that has a button snap that works horizontally, so that I could pop it out and then go into action with it. But that's just a little food for thought. The reality is I will probably never have the pleasure of using these on anything. It's just more or less something to have. This one usually resides in my trunk. And when you talk about the function of this, it's got little hex nuts there. How you would orient those or get that to actually, work on a hex, I don't know. But it's there, so it serves some sort of purpose. You can pry with it. I'm sure if you got real dodgy, you could figure out how to open a beer with it, probably cut your thumb off. But the edge on this, I would say the durability and the edge on this, you could actually use it for some light wood processing. I wouldn't baton anything with a fiberglass handle. I could probably stand to tighten up these nuts here, but otherwise it's pretty sturdy. I'll have to get the Allen keys out for that one. Probably a good thing I took a look at this. This handle material here, very spongy, very, very good positive grip, almost a stickiness to it. And when you look at it, it is almost about the same as this one from Calculated Survival. Dimensionally speaking, there's only a slight difference to it. Like where this bump is, I don't even know what that's called. Probably just some kind of handguard aid. But yeah, even the Allen key or the Allen screws look to be about the same, and the profile up here is only slightly different. So yeah, that's probably some Chinese manufacturer, cheaper by the dozen sort of things that axe companies order. So going beyond this little trunk axe, the one that I should be keeping in my trunk is the one that I did keep in a number of trunks years ago in other places. So when you talk about a tool, more so, and this you can also rig around your leg and wear on a belt. This was designed as an extrication tool on up-armored Humvees and other combat vehicles. So it has a very nice edge on it. The blade profile isn't necessarily for chopping anything specific, so it's a general use tool. This here is what you could use to unlock combat doors from the outside, and then it's got a very nice pry, very, very, very stout in profile. I'd say that's an easy 1/4 of an inch there, if not more. I probably got a micrometer somewhere I could use. But yeah, that right there, that little pick, you can do some real damage with that. It is a full tang, so it's not like fiberglass or glass-filled nylon or whatever they refer to it as industrially. But this, the full tang of this from Ontario allows it to be very robust, very weighty in the hand, get a pretty good swing. If you had to fight with this as an edged weapon, it would definitely get you through the day, I would say. But yeah, this is actually purpose-built as an extrication tool, and because of its general heft, I don't carry this one into the woods. I have this more as a keepsake. It was gifted to me. But the first real time in my life where I came into contact with anything as far as combat training goes was the M9 bayonet. And this one I carry on this package with a Mossberg 590A1 unloaded. I don't need to prove anything to you. But this is one of those tools that has so many uses beyond stabbing and fighting and slashing. Again, you can fix it to the end of a weapon. I will demonstrate. And know I said I didn't have to prove anything, but I will. Anyways, there it is. Pretty good lockup on that. Pretty sturdy. I would use it. That's probably why I have it. But I would use that in a fight if necessary, or to use as something for standoff if I was going on a breach. Now I could just dig that into whatever material and fire this in a breaching capacity. But again, that's for most people, that's just a far-gone fantasy and some rule without law or shit hits the fan situation that in all likelihood is never going to happen, but in some lines of work is more likely to happen. Another thing I like on this, there's your wire cutter. I've seen that get through a lot of pretty thick steel, mild steels, not hardened steels. But if you're talking about cutting fence material, that'll go up to 6 gauge pretty easy. Your more commercial, like 9 gauge fences or residential 11 gauge fences, they don't stand a chance against the M9 bayonet with sheath. But yeah, I remember getting issued a very, very dull one years ago and spent about 3 hours on a flight line sharpening it just in case. But while that may sound like lunacy to some people, I will tell you that there was a very real possibility we could have came into use of bayonets back then. But another edged weapon, mine's a little dirty, it gets some use still to this day. This is the entrenching tool. This edge here can be sharpened and honed. I would say you don't need it much more so than it already is. Just deburr it. Keep a bevel on this one side, and that'll get you through most of the chopping that you would ever have to do with it. For most people, that's cutting some 550 cords of length. But if you don't know how to cut 550 cord with 550 cord, you're probably in the wrong line of business. Going back to axes, this little thing is actually what I will carry out in the wood line. I like things that have multiple purposes, obviously. An axe on its own serves multiple purposes. This is a very nice edge. This is from Gerber. I haven't got as much use out of it as I would like, but I have it in case I need it. This isn't something that you would be chopping like a whole block of wood. You'd be nibbing sticks and twigs, getting them small and getting them down to a smaller, more functional size. The hammer edge on this, pretty substantial. And if you had the baton with it, you could set it in the wood and strike down through. And this blade profile is pretty good that it would actually split. But again, multifunction comes with a knife. And this knife is really sharp. Again, I haven't used it a whole lot, but it would be good for processing game or even further processing wood, say cutting your feather sticks and whatnot. Now, you probably notice I don't make a whole lot of videos, or I don't make any videos really, about how to do things in the woods and how to do things off-grid in any kind of quote-unquote survival situation. If you're in a survival situation, it's become an emergency and you fucked up long ago. But the reason I don't make videos like that is because there's enough people that do, that honestly it's not worth my time and effort. I use things when I have to, not to demonstrate. But yeah, along the way I've found out that there are things that are more streamlined and practical. You may have seen me wearing this lightweight backpack in some videos, like when I was in Montana, and just for the hell of it, I took out this Glock fighting knife and tossed it into a tree. Want to see something cool? Check this out. Boom! I've had this one, we'll say, since 2011, and it's definitely got some use, but it's one of those knives that's so nice I bought it twice. So I have the OD green version. This is probably the third time it's been taken out of the sheath, maybe fourth. Razor sharp. Yeah, razor sharp. It has a really nice saw edge on it. that can zip through wood pretty fairly. And what I like about it, the Glock fighting knife, while it's engineered for the Austrian Steyr AUG to be a bayonet, you can pop some bottle tops with that right there. And again, it's pretty well balanced. And it is designed for throwing, which I have demonstrated. It's been a long time since I really fucked around with this. But yeah, it's one of those really good fighting knives, if only for its durability and balance. But yeah, it has functions beyond combat applications. Man, I think I'm going too deep into this, further than I actually wanted to go. All because I just ordered an axe. I threw this video together probably in like 6 minutes. There's so much more I could go into. But like these knives. Here's another one so nice I bought it twice. I got a little scar from shit in there 20 years ago. This one's pretty well balanced too. But yeah, I was throwing it into all things plywood. Not this particular one, but the first one I had didn't clear customs because it's double-edged. Yeah, this little dagger, sometimes I'd just be showing off fucking around and I'd toss it like 20 feet into a Hesco and it'd stick. But yeah, I was throwing it up against plywood and I managed to hit it 20 times in a row, and then I got a little cocky and I went to throw it and it bounced off on that 21st time and cut a pretty decent slice in my leg. Maybe I'll show the scar. I don't know, it's probably all faded over now. But realistically, a fixed blade dagger, fighting dagger like this, if you carry that on your belt, that just will identify you in most areas as an asshole. So again, where do you find practicality? Okay, well, maybe something more small and subdued, like a folding knife. So this one right here, this is from SOG, probably run you about 108, 110 bucks. I bought this to basically fit in with some guys and be part of a club. And while I like it, I've never really carried it or got any use out of it. Might have killed a few MREs with it, but yeah, I like it because it's real thin, real streamlined, fits on your pocket, real subdued. So again, you're not as easily identified as the asshole. People have to get to know you, I suppose, to figure that out. But in line with that was this Kershaw that I bought. I can't even remember how much this little guy is, but how cute is that? Look at that. Little red button there. You push that, you get an 1.25 inch blade. Swings out. It's kind of fat, and it's more limited in its use. But again, very subdued. Pull that out. Pick your teeth. But yeah, that thing, you can do a whole lot with an 1.25 inches. It's about all you need to really get into that aorta. But again, it's become more of a novelty. This one, another one so nice I bought it twice. Also from Kershaw, I forget exactly what it's called. But I had one of these in 2017 that, again, for some reason didn't clear customs because people are afraid of edged weapons. But yeah, very good purchase on it. Very handy. Not something you would probably reverse grip on. But if you're talking about, you know, finger placement, the way they engineered this, I'm pretty sure Kershaw's Chinese. So when you look at, again, what I like to call high quality Chinesium, this little guy fits the bill. I think the first time I bought it was like 18 bucks. It might still be around that reasonable price. But you got yourself a high carbon steel pry right there. Technically flathead screwdriver too. I've used it many a times for that. And again, you can pop your bottle tops. That right there, that's worth the price of admission. I go on and on, probably for days, about things like this. I haven't even touched on multi-tools or, you know, pens or anything like that. But I think I'm just going to call it quits here because, you know, not that I'm running out of steam. Like I said, I could talk for days about stuff like this. But I think I've overshadowed the new purchase and just kind of went down a tangent talking about edged weapons that, again, we'll probably never see the true full capacity of their use and design. But if you have the means, or you're a hobbyist, or you desire something like this, for $110, I can tell you right now, it was worth every penny as soon as I got it out of the damn box. You know, now I remember what the hell I was going to say. Everyday carry. This is my little guy. This is all I need right here. It's got a number 60 scalpel, better known as an autopsy scalpel. So while you can sharpen these, you can just replace them. I go with stainless steel over carbon steel. It'll hold the edge better. It may not be as sharp, but it's a scalpel, so it's so much sharper than you need. And going back to not having a sheath, while the Calculated Survival Axe does not have one of those, it does come with something that is pretty nice that I noticed when I was opening the box. And I'm going to use my number 60 scalpel everyday carry to secure that. And that's a piece of steel, but I think on the other side, the corresponding side, are some neodymium magnets. So, cool. I got refrigerator magnets for free.